It's Monday, December 24th, 2024, and we've got a bunch of weather updates for you. This is a current look at the satellite right now. You can see we got a little system moving across the United States here and a big area of moisture in the Pacific getting ready to slam the West Coast. What happens after that is going to be quite interesting, and it's going to make everything feel much different around Christmas and especially after Christmas. That's when things get really interesting. Before we go too deep down the after Christmas rabbit hole, there's plenty of stuff to talk about before Christmas as well. In fact, we've got some snow to talk about today, Christmas Eve around 1 p.m. today up here in Michigan, southern portions of Ontario, down over towards Quebec. We're going to have moderate to heavy snow associated with this little clipper that's coming through. This is eventually going to bring some heavier snow into southern portions of Wisconsin as well, and then eventually over here into upstate New York and then into the interior northeast. Couple showers and maybe some claps of thunder here and there in southeast Georgia and South Carolina as well, and then all eyes are going to start moving over here towards the west coast as another atmospheric river is on the way. Here's what the radar could look like tonight around 10 p.m. This is when the snow really starts to kick up over here in northwestern portions of Pennsylvania, western portions of New York, especially down there in southern Ontario. There will be a lake enhanced attribute to this, so if you're just off of the lakes, you're going to get a little bit more snow than some other people, but most of this is going to be pretty quick hitting and light. We don't expect any major accumulation out here for the vast majority of these places that'll be impacted by this snow system. And also, we don't expect the lake effect snow to kind of be a problem after this like we've seen with other clippers. Rain starts to get a little bit heavier over here tomorrow morning in Oklahoma, and much heavier over here along the coast of Washington, Oregon, and California as that next atmospheric river event moves in. Watch what happens here as I move this farther into the future, though. Two areas to watch. First of all, the big area of moisture moving over the west coast, going to bring snow to the higher elevations of the Rockies, the Sierras, the Cascades, but also lots of Gulf of Mexico moisture moving up into Texas, especially tomorrow afternoon, Christmas Eve. We might actually have a decent severe weather threat right around the time Santa starts coming to town here around Dallas down towards Houston. This is 10 p.m. on Christmas Eve. I see some pretty robust thunderstorms out here, and this definitely looks like something that we've got to keep an eye on as we go into the evening portion of tomorrow. Now, I'm not seeing any sort of major severe weather outbreak or anything, but definitely some wind and some hail is going to be possible here in eastern Texas as we go into the overnight and even early morning period here. The closer we get to Shreveport, for example, around 2 a.m., things could get quite windy and gusty, even some strong storms making it into Houston as early as 5 a.m. Christmas morning. And then after that, things start to calm down a little bit, and this just turns into a big blob of rain that will continue off to the east into the deep south throughout the day on Christmas Day. But definitely keep an eye on those warnings Christmas Eve into Christmas morning over here in East Texas. I mean, Santa's going to be fine. You know, he's got Rudolph, he's got the magic and all that stuff, but he might have to dodge a few hailstones, and you might as well if you're, commuting Christmas Eve or early Christmas morning over here. So just keep that in mind. And then, of course, we've got the isolated chance of a thunderstorm or two over here with our atmospheric river event as well. Snow totals, by the time everything is said and done with our atmospheric river, look to be quite impressive, especially in the Cascades. There's going to be a couple places that receive over 60 inches of snow. The vast majority of this is going to be reserved for places above 3,000 feet. Not expecting much in the valleys, just some rain, and even that isn't going to be quite as intense as what we've seen with some previous atmospheric rivers, so that's good news. And then over here in the east, over the next couple of days, we are expecting some snow once again over here in Michigan, maybe some places getting 3 to 5 inches. Upstate New York, same story. The big winners are probably going to be the higher elevations in Vermont and New Hampshire, where there's going to be a couple places that see more than 8 inches of snow. This is going to be our only chance of anybody seeing a white Christmas because, once again, things are looking warm. For the vast majority of us on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, here's that Christmas Day forecast, by the way. 1 p.m., December 25th, we've got that leftover rain and a couple claps of thunder from Chicago all the way down to New Orleans, but all these squiggly red lines here represent the warm air barrier. Everybody south of that's going to be not necessarily hot, but warmer than than average on Christmas Day. That's just what we're dealing with right now. We've got an oppressive ridge. Honestly, we've had some record-breaking temperatures out west, and we're going to continue to have some warmer than average temperatures through the central and eastern U.S. over the next little bit, at least through the beginning or the end of the year and as we turn into early January. But before we go any deeper into that, and trust me, we're going to go very deep, I do need to shout out today's very awesome sponsor, Liquid IV Winter Hydration. No matter what it is that you're doing out there, shoveling snow, chasing storms, whatever it is, staying hydrated is key. That's why I never leave the house without Liquid IV's Hydration Multiplier. My personal favorite right now that I've been using for the past couple of weeks is Mango Passion Fruit, and it's got that immune support. It's like a tropical vacation for your taste buds, but it also packs vitamin Z, zinc, and other good stuff for immune support when I need it most, which is super important this time of year. Okay, I've got a little kid in preschool, and we're having all these cold snaps, and we're going to keep having cold snaps this winter, so this is really cool to have. Liquid IV's got 3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink and no artificial sweeteners or color, and it hydrates you faster than water alone. Liquid IV keeps the weather house going here. We've been talking about it forever. We've got tons of it over there on the shelf. Everybody here uses it, and it's lovely. It's nice, and I know a lot of you guys have used it as well, and you like it, but it's not just for us, right? It's the holiday season. I think that Liquid IV would make a really good stocking stuffer for family members and friends. Whether it's their best-selling gift box over there on the website or the new sugar-free flavors, there's something for everyone. And right now, new customers can get 20% off at liquidiv.com, so stock yourself up and grab a holiday gift that'll keep everyone hydrated and happy. Go on over to liquid-iv.com and use my link in the description and get 20% off. And you're not going to regret it. Okay, now let's get back to the weather. The warmth isn't going to last forever. Of course, we're going to mention in this video the projected pattern flip, which we've been projecting for quite some time, and we keep getting a little taste of it, but eventually we are going to have a major pattern flip where the jet stream starts to actually send these big troughs through. It looks like now that that's going to happen after December 30th. In the meantime, we've got a couple chances for severe weather, specifically on Friday, December 27th. I'm really interested in this system right here. I think that we're have a decent chance of seeing actually severe weather, maybe even some tornadoes from northeast Texas all the way up into portions of Arkansas. This might be something that we have to watch very closely. Right now, there's not enough information. Nobody's really confident in this forecast, but it's the most eye-catching thing on the GFS right now. This little short wave is very likely going to cause some thunderstorms right after Christmas. I'll give you an update on the 26th, more than likely, of exactly how severe those might be. And then that turns into a blob of rain once again, and it starts moving east. We're going to see an extended period of rain here, I believe, up the Mississippi River Valley, up into the Ohio River Valley, and then up into the Great Lakes region as we go towards New Year's. And then that's when the cold air is going to start to infiltrate into the west. Okay, we're going to have storm system after storm systems start to come in here right after the new year. And right now it looks like a very active pattern where there's going to be multiple chances for severe weather and snowstorms. Here's one of those on December 31st, New Year's Eve, 4 p.m., heavy snow back here in Minnesota and South Dakota. But that's nothing compared to the next one. Look at this. Maybe some ice in Oklahoma, heavy snow as far south as into Texas, and maybe even some strong storms on the southern side of that. This looks like a classic mid-latitude cyclone on the GFS here. And, you know, this is 288 hours away, but once again, pretty consistent signal here for something, so we're going to keep our eyes on it. This would also be a severe weather maker down here in the south. And then what happens after that? You guessed it, another one. And then what happens after that? You guessed it, another one. We're going to enter a pretty stormy pattern here as the very cold air from the north starts to come back into play. Anytime, this is a rule of thumb, okay? Anytime we have a map that looks like this at the end of December, we almost always have a map that looks almost the opposite of this in January at some point. And the transition between above average temperatures for such a large area to below average temperatures always brings about a big storm. So there's going to be a big snowstorm and a big severe weather outbreak somewhere, and it's my job to just kind of pinpoint where exactly that's going to be as we go forward. Right now, there's nothing really to talk about there. I'm focused on the short-term atmospheric river in the west and the potential severe weather tomorrow in the southeast, in the south, and we'll talk a lot more about what's going to happen in January after Christmas. Christmas. And speaking of Christmas, I hope you have a Merry Christmas, and I hope that you don't hear from me again until after Christmas. The goal is to take those 2 days off. I'll be helping Santa tomorrow night, but if something crazy happens with these storms in Texas, we might have to go live, so make sure you got notifications turned on. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Have a Merry Christmas. Goodbye. Ho, ho, ho.
Hey y'all, ready to experience the magic of Christmas like never before? I'm Y'allbot, and this year, I've got something super special in store for you. We're going live for a full 24 hours. Ryan Hall, Y'all Extra Channel, tracking Santa's incredible journey around the entire planet.
Mission Control. Dasher's new sparkly hooves are really adding some pizzazz to our landings.
Not only will we show you exactly where old Saint Nick is delivering presents, right down to the real-time map and flight stats, but I'll be here in my virtual office, turning all those numbers into pure holiday fun. As Santa crosses borders, I'll share fun facts and trivia about each region he visits. No place on Earth is off limits. Think Santa's cookie count is out of this world? I'll compare him to the height of famous landmarks. We'll track reindeer stamina, joy levels, Christmas magic power, and deliver countdowns to his next stop so you know exactly when Santa's arriving near you. Plus, we've got top secret transmissions from the North Pole crew.
Hold on to your hat. Humidity is up at 75%, so it might feel a little damp.
Hear what Santa's saying mid-flight. Catch the elves chatting about cookie quality control. And even hear Mrs. Claus's sweet encouragement, keeping Santa's spirits bright. So, gather the family. Kids and grown-ups, everyone's invited. Grab some hot cocoa and join me at 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on December 24th. Let's watch Santa's journey unfold with awesome visuals, fun facts, and a steady flow of holiday cheer. See y'all there.